Life is full of uncertainty. Every day we all face questions, but now's the time for everyone to consider one of the most important interrogatives of our modern existence. Whoa, that's kind of some deep thinking for a hillbilly turf rider. But hey, here goes. Who's going to win the Kentucky Derby? This is Danny Brewer, your favorite turf rider from Tennessee. Now's this time of year when people really become dialed in on the Kentucky Derby. Some work all year, or maybe even their entire life, for the chance to run around that dirt oval in Louisville, Kentucky on the first Saturday in May. This will be the 147th consecutive year people are pondering the outcome. That makes this the longest consecutive running sporting event in these United States. We said longest, as perhaps the most magical event in the creation of sports. The Kentucky Derby is really about way more than a 2-minute drive over this Churchill Downs dirt. Truly a life-altering event, these courageous warriors will be battling for a blanket of roses and a shot at immortality on May 1. With that in mind, what calculations will help us make our final selection? The road that leads to the Derby starting gates has been full of twists and turns. Upsets and injuries have made this a real brain twister. My good friend and 2-time Kentucky Derby winning trainer Carl Nasker once shared some very sage advice. I asked him if the odds had ever determined the outcome of a race. He quickly replied, "No, son, they haven't." "Why, Carl?" "Because horses can't read." That has absolutely held true as longer shots took 3 of the final 4 major prep races. So maybe we forget the ciphering and try to find some sort of magical connection with one of the runners. Superstock was an upset winner in the Arkansas Derby. Hey, we're friends with MTSU head football coach Rick Stockstill, and he's a super guy. Stock's trainer Steve Asmussen is the all-time leader in wins at Churchill Downs, but has never visited the Derby winner circle. Rock Your World. He surprised all in the Santa Anita Derby as he took them gate to wire and is an unbeaten son of Candy Ride. This was my buddy's pickup line at the bar. Of course, he was turned down more times than a hotel bed sheet, and this John Sadler trainee I think has a much better shot than he ever did. Bourbonic shocked the world as he came from the clouds and won the Wood Memorial at odds of 72-1 for 2-time Derby winner Todd Pletcher. Needless to say, my friend's pickup line was often fueled by his bourbonic state. Helium is an unbeaten horse from the Mark Casse barn, and he pulled a shocker when he won the Tampa Bay Derby in his only start on dirt. They say you need to find a runner on the rise, so could that be Helium? Hot Rod Charlie ran with conviction in winning the Louisiana Derby on March 20th. He was not a big long shot, but he did ship from the West Coast for trainer Doug O'Neill. Is there anything quite like a heavy-hitting cam of a big block before it white smokes the tires? How about the potential entrance for 6-time Kentucky Derby winner Bob Baffert? Medina Spirit will be there after a second-place finish in the Santa Anita Derby. And we used to really cut to that old Tone Loc song Funky Cold Medina. How about some very talented runners we're not smart enough to be connected with, like Florida Derby victor Known Agenda or Risen Star champ Mandaloon? The likely morning favorite for the Kentucky Derby will be juvenile champion Essential Quality. We all would like to be described in this manner, and thus far it has absolutely nailed him. Running out of the Brad Cox barn, he's won all 5 career starts, and the Louisville native has done an excellent job training this striking son of Tappet. Tested in his last start in the Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland, Brad put things in perspective for those that question quality after his neck win over Determined Highly Motivated.
Essential Quality is still driving at him from the outside past the 16th pole. Highly Motivated, Essential Quality, what a finish! The champ remains unbeaten. Essential Quality to win it for Luis Saez.
This was only the 5th start of his life, he says, and just the 2nd one this year. Quality is still developing, and we expect him to move forward from there. You know, Brad Cox is certainly one of the sharpest tools in the training shed these days, and his analyzation was spot on. Horses run fewer times these days, so that can make things very unpredictable. These young athletes are still trying to figure themselves out, and like anyone who plays a game, they're going to have ups and downs. The first key to winning the world's most famous race is to have them in peak form on race day, and then pray that everything else goes right. So now that we have made things about as clear as mud, have we figured some magical mathematical formula? If numbers were always the answer, this game would be a whole lot easier to speculate about. Essential Quality is without question the one to beat because he has the numbers behind him when you think about everything considered. And besides, he is one fantastic looking creature that should love a mile and a quarter. Because things have been topsy-turvy, do we buck the trend and take the likely favorite? Or do we ride that wave of uncertainty like a boogie board on Panama City Beach? We're taking the Hot Rod. Hot Rod Charlie has run 7 times in his life at 4 different tracks, so he has a bit more seasoning. The Louisiana Derby is the longest of the prep races at 1 mile and 3/16. In the end, he had plenty of horsepower as he was pulling away from his challengers at the wire. His pappy was Oxbow, and he won the Preakness in 2013, and his grandpappy on his mammy's side was the once beaten Indian Charlie. Trainer Doug O'Neill won the Derby in 2012 with I'll Have Another, and in 2016 with Nyquist, so he knows what it takes. O'Neill likes the way recent works have gone. Flavien Prat is going to be in the irons, and the longer layoffs have been good for this hot rod. Let's complete our superfecta by throwing in Essential Quality, Rock Your World, and Superstock. Why do we love the Kentucky Derby? Is it because it helps us forget about life? Or is it because it is life? This is Danny Brewer, and you can catch me on Horse Racing Scoop. Always remember, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. And like the t-shirt says, back a horse and get paid.